Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
Hello, all, and how you all doing this Thursday evening? This is the Club of the Man 1993. The man who is superior to the man because he is the man. Yes, it's a quick intro. This is the second take of this live review of Monday Night Raw. As I was having some issues with the lighting in my office. Again, I just gotta figure something out here with this. But Raw review is not live this week, mainly because, again, I've been busy this week, and I was supposed to do this last night, but I didn't prep for the stream the night before, as I had to do to be able to go live, and I was not prepared, and it's storming outside now a little, so in order to stay caught up, it's best that I just did this Raw review pre-recorded. And I also dozed off during Dynamite last night because I was exhausted. I've had a busy week. So, again, I wasn't able to finish Dynamite last night. I got to rewatch about half of it tonight. I don't know if I'll get to review it then because I have other stuff I got to do because I'm 100 days till my wedding and there's still a lot to do. So I might do Dynamite pre-recorded. SmackDown, though, I plan on trying to do that live this weekend. Because there will be some news topics I would like to cover as well that I will get to when it happens. So I would like to talk about some of that stuff live, but I just don't have time to do them as individual topic videos right now. And I do want to get the WrestleMania graphics prepared for the WrestleMania preview predictions this weekend. That way I can do that at the beginning of next week and just put that to bed quickly. I'm saying that a lot lately. But anyways, we're here to talk about this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. The March 20th, 2023 edition. It took place in St. Louis, Missouri. The second to last episode of Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania 39. And overall, I thought Raw was strong. I wouldn't say it was great, but I thought it was a little bit better than solid. I just feel at this point, yes, there's a lot of people that say the build to WrestleMania has not been that great. And, some stuff can be better, yes. I'm still excited. Did I expect a little bit better? Yes. But to me, it feels like we're set. The card is set, for the most part, it seems like. Matches are going to deliver, I have the faith in. And again, it's at this time, other than the stuff with Brock Lesnar and Omos, I don't feel like I'm being toyed with. And again, that's the problem I have with Vince McMahon being in charge. Is the fact that he does shit that makes you feel like your intelligence is insulted. Triple H, he tries. Yes, he's had some swings and misses. He's had some home runs since he started. But again, keep in mind, he's still working with a roster that he can't fix everybody at once. And there's some people you can tell that there's stuff that's been working. And there's some people he's been pulling because stuff's not working. Lacey Evans, for example, who's probably been pulled from TV again because you haven't seen her in weeks because nothing seems to be working out for her, unfortunately. But there's some people that have been involved in some filler stuff that I just feel like that they're being prepared to start getting somewhat of a push after WrestleMania. Like the Johnny Garganos, for example, who he does have a match at NXT Stand and Deliver with Grayson Waller, which I do plan on at some point checking out that show and doing a review on it. I'm still not watching NXT, but I plan on checking that out just to see how it is. So I don't know if it's just that, but there's a couple others like, Alpha Academy. And of course the storyline with Otis and the Maximum Male Models. And some others that are kind of like lingering in the background, like the Chelsea Greens and the Piper Nevins, who have somewhat of a direction, but nothing like serious yet. I feel like some of those people are being groomed, and they're going to start giving them a little more of a serious direction after WrestleMania. So we'll talk about all of that. There is some news also that I'll wait till my SmackDown review regarding Alexa Bliss that I found out today. That I will wait till Friday to talk. Well, till tomorrow's Friday. I'll wait till my SmackDown review to talk about it. But just some stuff that may be a possibility as to a slight possibility as to why the Bray Wyatt plans may have been halted a little bit, because, probably not completely, but probably a little bit, because Alexa Bliss was supposed to be involved. But again, I'll save that for Friday, because again, I just want to get Raw caught up. So, Raw this week. Let's talk about the show. We opened up the show with, of course, the recap of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens reuniting on SmackDown. They get in the ring, and Owens thinks they like Sami Zayn, which gets them the Sami chance, and Sami returns a favor, getting Owens his chance. Sami Zayn feels really good to be out here on the same page again, and he didn't get a chance to say it last week. He gets it. He gets it why KO turned him down again and again, because he was approaching it wrong. He was looking at it like a business transaction, and that's never been how they operated. Whether they were friends or enemies, they used each other to get to the next level as friends and enemies, but they've always been brothers. And KO says the same thing he said back when he first started feuding with the Bloodline again, back before Survivor Series. He mentions again, he's always been Sami's biggest fan. And he's been the best guy he's been in a ring with. And for the last 6 months, he's been under Roman's thumb when he's better than any of them. And that hurt. He just couldn't take it. And last week, Owens finally realized it was time to get over everything and take down the Bloodline together. And then Sami's like, I guess that means, what comes next. And they both look at the WrestleMania sign. And we all know what it's going to be. The Usos come out. Jay starts asking Jimmy if he sees what he sees, a backstabber. And they're the kind of family that cuts each other's throats. Sami laughs it off and says it's Jay's biggest dream to backstab Roman. Jimmy accuses Sami of being in dream world, thinking of something's going to happen at WrestleMania, but he says nothing's going to happen. But then KO's like, because we all know where this is going, there's only one way to sell this, and have a match for the tag titles at WrestleMania. And the Usos accepted, so we get brothers versus brothers at WrestleMania. But the Usos are like, we don't want to wait, and they rush to the ring and they start brawling until Sami goes for a haluva kick, and then Jimmy pulls Jay out of the way. And then we have the Usos with chairs getting ready to go back to the ring. But then they show on the Tron that Solo Sikoa is arriving. Then there's Paul Heyman. Then there's Roman Reigns, who was advertised for this show as he was going to be confronting Cody Rhodes. Now, I'm still wondering, though, why they didn't have Roman show up sooner. Because he should, in my opinion, he should have been on that SmackDown in Pittsburgh right after Jay had turned on Sami. But instead, we got it here. Maybe they were trying to play out the idea still that even though Jay turned on Sami, Jay still believes what Sami says is true. And again, this idea that Sami mentions that Jay's just mad because he didn't get to do what Sami's done to Roman, and that's wallop him in the back with a chair. But of course, we'll get back to more of them later. Austin Theory took on Montez Ford in another good match. Austin wins with the A-Town down. Afterwards, Theory weeps bloody tears from one eye and basically talks more crap on John Cena. Is anybody besides me wondering though why John Cena has only done just a one appearance? You would think he would do at least one or two more before WrestleMania, but that's slightly disappointing. I mean, because again, the last time we saw John Cena, he shrunk Austin Theory down to size. So you would think that he would have to have at least like one confrontation with John Cena, showing some hope of like, okay, you shrunk me down, but I'm coming back. So that's kind of missing a little bit there. So I'm a little, or in fact, we didn't even get like a promo from Cena on the Tron or something, like something else to show that Austin Theory's grown a little bit from that promo where Cena basically exposed like every weakness of him basically. But the match he had with Montez Ford was good. Afterwards, we have the Usos with Roman Reigns backstage. Jimmy says nothing hits him harder than being torn from his brother and then sitting here and having to answer for like it's his fault. He'll never forgive Sammy for this. At WrestleMania, he's got him. Then Roman says he hopes so, and he calls for the wise man. He tells everyone to leave him but Jay. So we have this segment with Roman and Jay. And Roman's like, it's been a minute, haven't heard from you, and now you're back here making decisions. Are you bloodline? Are you staying with the family? And Jay says yes. And Roman does this long, intense pause for saying, I'll see you later. But then when Jay gets up, Roman grabs him and says, just so you know, I love you. Of course, calling back to that great promo feud he had with Roman when this all first got started, where Roman kept saying, Jay, I love you. I'm just trying to help you. And then finally, eventually, Jay got it. He understood. But of course, does that mean Jay is not tired of the abuse he's gotten from Roman Reigns since then? As again, Roman's just been power hungry and using his family to fight his fires. So, of course, we have that confrontation. Then we have a segment with Adam Pearce and Chelsea Green, who's saying she had matching gear for her and Carmella, but Carmella is nowhere to be found, so she needs a new tag team partner. And it ends up being Piper Niven is going to be her new tag team partner. And in her match, she has against Bianca Belair and Asuka in a tag match. And basically, she demands for a spot at WrestleMania. There's still the qualifying matches for the women's showcase fatal 4-way match. The men's is already official. The men didn't have to qualify. I don't know why. I hate when they do that. Why does one have to qualify, but the others don't? Because the men's were getting Alpha Academy, Street Profits, the Viking Raiders, and Ricochet and Braun Strowman. Which that match should go to Alpha Academy, in my opinion. They're the only one that actually has a legitimate story right now with the maximum male models. The women don't still have to qualify. We didn't get the qualifying match on this week's episode of Raw, but But anyways, she beats to Adam Pearce as usual, and then she threatens to go on social media and put him on blast, or worse, block him. Honestly, blocking him maybe what Adam Pearce may want, because I don't think Adam Pearce wants to put with Chelsea Green, but there's that. They do a tail of the tape video package for Brock Lesnar and Omos. Again, even though a good video package is not going to get me hyped for this match, nothing can make me want to see Brock Lesnar and Omos. And then Mustafa Ali gets squashed by Omos, poor soul. And afterwards, MVP gets back and says how Brock is going to learn from the Nigerian Giant and fear him at WrestleMania. I still don't care. Speaking of people I don't care about, but I just hate that he's this good. Logan Paul is getting ready for his first live episode of Impulsive TV on Monday Night Raw. He's interrupted by The Miz, who wants to go over some questions, and assuming he wants him as his guest, but Logan's like, nah, I don't need you. So he has Impulsive TV, and the crowd's booing him, And he's like, I don't have to be here. I make millions. I do this because I love it. But sadly, you guys don't love us. Love me, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. You'll never respect me, this, and that. He basically is just getting his very cheap heat. He's also saying he's looking forward to beating Seth Rollins on his 28th birthday. Yeah, that's right. Night 1 is on Logan Paul's 28th birthday. And then eventually he talks more crap, and then Seth Rollins comes out. And Seth first appeared on a Tron and mocks Logan, and then his music plays, and then Seth takes a while to get here. Logan's still whining and crying until Seth gets out here. He grabs the mic, and then they start brawling again. And Logan Paul, for like the 50th time, knocks out Seth Rollins. So I guess that's still another indication that Seth's going to beat the ass of Logan Paul at WrestleMania. I hope to God he does! So yeah. There was that. Then we had a pretty solid match with Dominic Mysterio and Johnny Gargano. Johnny, though, again, is in the midst of a feud with Grayson Waller in NXT, which the only reason why I'm intrigued by that match is because, again, I don't know much about Grayson Waller other than the fact that he's been someone who's been heavily featured on NXT. And he was the one who was known for writing off Johnny Gargano when Johnny originally left NXT. So, they're building towards a match at TakeOver. I'm sorry, there's not TakeOver, at NXT Stand and Deliver. And Johnny was all taped up from his attack from NXT last Tuesday. And Dominic did kind of use that to his advantage. But I do feel like Johnny and Dominic could have a pretty solid match if they were given time on pay-per-view. They could have a good match. But based off of the injuries and, the distractions from outside, Dom does beat Johnny with a frog splash onto his ribs. And then afterwards, Dom cuts another promo trashing on his father. But then he says he knows his entire family will be at SmackDown this week. And basically, he's going to ask for his mom's permission to beat up his father. Which I'm pretty sure, I guess at this point, again, in order to get Ray to say yes to Dominic, I guess, to fight him, I guess Dom's going to have to go even further and disrespect not just him, but his family. Like his own mother, his own sister, well, probably his mother especially. I think this is what's going to take. It could become official this Friday on SmackDown. It could become official not to the Hall of Fame ceremony. As we all know, Dominic in some way is going to be making some sort of appearance at the Hall of Fame ceremony and doing something to ruin Ray's Hall of Fame speech. But again, either way, it's going to come down to Dom doing something to his mother, probably, for Ray to finally snap and say, okay, you can disrespect me, but you can't respect your own mother. She's my wife and whatnot. And that'll lead Ray to finally wanting to beat the crap out of his son. But, yeah, that stuff was there. Then we have Solo Sikoa hanging out with the Wise Man backstage. And he tells them if they're waiting for the tribal chief, he's waiting for them to get on the jet, full of seafood and ready for them to indulge. But except for Solo, he wants to talk with Solo. Which, of course, next time we saw them was in the clothing segment. Then we got this spooky, floating head promo with Edge in the middle of candles. It's dark, but all you see again is the candles, but it's neat. Edge said if pushed, he doesn't just resist. He'll throw you through a wall. He's hostile, and he fits himself into a cage to fit in society. But inside the cage, he's unleashed. And Finn Balor doesn't know what he's capable of. He was baptized by the dead man inside Hell in a Cell himself. I'm sure he's referring to their... What was it? SummerSlam in Hell in a Cell? Or was it Judgment Day in Hell in a Cell? He did face Edge. Edge and Taker did fight inside Hell in a Cell. And you can't become what you must become by remaining what you are. The scriptures say that, yeah, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'll fear no evil. And he never has, because he's the evil that lies in the valley. And he wants Finn Balor to bring his demon to meet the devil. Another promo, again, just hyping up the fact that it's going to be Demon Finn Balor versus Edge at Mania. I'm sorry. I know the whole idea, again, of the story, as I keep saying, is for Edge to finally, end what he started with the Judgment Day. Because, again, Edge it's sounding pretty serious, like Edge is going to be retiring this summer for good. Again, the idea still is the SmackDown in Toronto on August 18th is when they're thinking Edge will call it quits. And I wanted him to go out on a positive note, but I just, again, if it wasn't for them winning that tag match at Chamber, I think Edge should win this. But since he won at Chamber, and he's going to be the Demon, I seriously think Finn Balor should win this. Especially also, we haven't seen Finn Balor as the Demon since that stupid match he had with Roman Reigns at Extreme Rules in 2021, where the ropes broke and that's how he lost the match, because the ring ropes broke. And it was, oh my god, it was still so awful. But I still think Finn should win this match. I'm sorry. I still think that should be the case. And again, that's the reason why, again, I don't want to look at this as like a revenge match, because to me, they already got their revenge at Elimination Chamber. This is like, okay, I always say in the Toy Story franchise, which, spoiler, apparently they're saying that there will be a Toy Story 5. Which, based off how the fourth one ended, I maybe could see it, because maybe Woody gets back to Annie. But anyways, I thought the proper ending was Toy Story 3. The way Toy Story 3 ended, I'm like, boom. Toy Story 4, again, was good, but it felt like it was starting a whole different chapter, a whole different story. So this Edge and Finn Balor Hell in a Cell match, to me, because they got their revenge at Chamber, this feels like a new story. This feels like a new direction with this. So like I said, they've got to put Finn over, I feel like at this point. They've got to put over Finn inside that Hell in a Cell match. If Triple H is going to stay in charge, Finn Balor has always been the guy that Triple H heavily relies on, that he has a lot of faith in. So, again, he's got to get that nod at WrestleMania at this point, I feel like. But, anyways, so after we had that, Rhea Ripley came out, and she talks more about Charlotte, saying basically almost the same thing she said on SmackDown. Like, she needs to be a champion and a star, but she doesn't agree with living in the past. Charlotte doesn't want to accept her future, and that's why she keeps talking about 3 years ago when they fought one-on-one at WrestleMania 36 for the first time. Basically the same thing, and basically how Charlotte is done and washed up. It's time for her to move on and go home, where she means absolutely nothing, because Charlotte ain't anything without WWE. And then Damage Control entered. And I'm just like, this is random. Like, this is heels. Bayley speaks and says when Rhea was talking about leaders, she was waiting to hear her name. They all respect Rhea because anyone who puts Charlotte Flair into her place gets their utmost respect. And they're like, we're here to help you. And Rhea's like, I don't need help from the three of them. Then Bayley says, she talks about how cocky Rhea is, and says it's time Damage Control showed them that Raw is their show. And Rhea's like, fine, fight me. And then Bayley accepts, and then they have a random ass match with Rhea and Bayley. And during the match, Becky, Trish, and Lita come out with popcorn and just hang out at ringside, and Rhea wins with the Riptide. They're not helping the case here. So, okay, again. Becky, Lita, and Trish at Mania is good. But, again, they're not helping with Damage Control. Again, even if the idea is to give Damage Control a rub by having Trish turn on them, because there's still rumors that they're going to do Becky and Trish at SummerSlam, and this feud here is setting up. Which again, I think the story is going to be Trish could be upset that Lita didn't want to have that tag title moment with her, so that's why she did what she did, and blah blah. Okay, and I said earlier, yes, some of these people, they may just be slowly grooming with this filler stuff until after Mania. Yes, but again, Damage Control is done. Damage Control is damaged goods. And doing stuff like this, it's not making me think even Damage Control winning at Mania is not going to help them at all by far. At this point, do what they did with Dom and Ray. Have Damage Control, which I still think Judgment Day should have won that match to help them get a little momentum with Dom turning on them. Have what's it called? Have Becky, Lita, and Trish win, but have Trish turn on Becky after the match. You could do that, but at this point, I see no reason for Damage Control to even win at Mania, or even want to see them win. Because even if they would win, how will that help them? Because their booking's been shit, but we all know that. We have Chad Gable looking for Otis, finds him having a spa day with the Maximum Male models, basically playing tug of war of like, he's mine, no he's mine, and then Otis agrees to go with Chad for his match against Ricochet. It was also then announced that Andy Kaufman will be the celebrity induction to WWE's Hall of Fame this year. And then Chad Gable and Ricochet had a good match, as of course they should. But then Otis got dragged away by Maxime Dupree, and then Ricochet wins the Shooting Star Press. I don't know if this means they're going to be splitting up Alpha Academy or what the heck they're doing, even though I said earlier that Alpha Academy should win at WrestleMania, as they're really the only team with a story. Be nice to see them get a rub, but who knows. We have that. Bianca Belair and Asuka had a match with Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. The babyfaces won. Afterwards, Asuka lays out Bianca with a quick basement drop kick. I don't think that's a heel turn. I think that's just a typical, hey, I'm here, I'm paying attention to you thing. I don't think it's a full-on heel turn. Because Bianca and Asuka have just been that match where it's been built like, okay, Asuka got a shot for the Raw Women's title. Here's the match. That's all the build basically has been, pretty much. It's one of those like too simple and lazy storylines, but we all know the match is going to be good. We'll talk about that, of course, when we get to Mania as well. And then the show ends with Roman Reigns coming out with the Wise Man and Solo Sikoa. Roman demands for St. Louis to acknowledge him before Cody Rhodes comes out. He says normally he'd ask St. Louis, what do you want to talk about? But he knows Roman wants to talk about his warning to not let it get personal and get involved with the bloodline. He's heard that apparently now you have a Cody Rhodes problem. He'd love for them to define that problem. Heyman steps in to explain, but then Cody tells him to please take a step back because I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Roman says Cody ain't the problem. It's what he represents. He's what Roman used to be, like their fathers, a professional wrestler. Now, he's a fighter, which lets him be a megastar. Cody comes in here and says all these things he's going to do. But we all know what he's not going to do based off of his track record. Cody didn't want to be Stardust, so he ran away. Ouch. And then he started a promotion that he couldn't even get over. So he ran away again and came back here and got over, but then his body quickly quit on him. Ouch. All that is true. He then says, you're not cut out for this. And you're not going to finish your story. April 2nd is just a moment. A lottery ticket. The real moment will be when you wake up on April 3rd and you have to look in the mirror and confront the adversity. Cody's got to make a choice that morning that his dad could be proud of. Because otherwise, he's going to do what he always does and run away like a little bitch. That's basically Roman Reigns trying to bury Cody. Shrink him down to size. Shrink him down to reality. How does Cody follow up with that? Well, definitely better than how Austin Aries followed up when John Cena shrunk him down to size. Cody admits that what Roman's saying is true. Business broke his heart. He ran away. But what he did while he was away was let 100% of every locker room make a lot more money than they used to be. Basically saying, like, showing that there's more opportunities outside the WWE. And that indeed is what he succeeded with. Especially when he was told that he couldn't get 10,000 at Madison Square Garden and sold out for All In. And made a statement and started AEW. That has had its ups and downs, but it's been a successful company. He started here and he wanted to be a superstar. Maybe he is just a violent professional wrestler who likes the taste of blood in his mouth, probably referring to blood and guts. But he'll make it clear right here, right now, that you don't need to bring up his father again. He's not going to swoop in and hit a bionic elbow. His brother works elsewhere, and the only one you're going to see at Mania is him. You want to talk about family? He'll talk about his mean-ass Cuban mother, who tell him to knock Roman down and then hit him again. Now, on April 3rd, it won't be Cody that'll be waking up to reality. It'll be Roman, because Roman will wake up on April 3rd and remember what it means to lose. He'll wake up without the titles. And when that happens, Jay will leave him. And following Jay, it'll be Jimmy. There will be no more Usos. And then after that, Solo. He wants to tell Solo something. The second he was a second generation flanked by the champion, he learned that you think you're ready, but you're actually not. And when Solo realizes he's not ready, he will leave too. And that will just make Mr. Heyman nothing but once again an advocate. And he will be Roman with no more reigns and a chief without a tribe. I think Cody may have got even there. Cody basically got even, and the only way to completely, put the finishing touch on the burial is for him to take the titles off of Roman at Mania. And then after this, Roman drops his mic, and him and Heyman go to leave. Cody, though, Solo didn't leave. Cody gets in Solo's face and tells him to say when, and Solo backs down too. Cody says, Solo, I knew you weren't ready, which gets Solo fired up, but then Cody kicks him, and Solo gets more fired up, ready to fight, but then Roman grabs him on the apron and tells him to back down. So we know Jay already has a soft spot. I'm pretty sure we're getting even closer. I mean, we already kind of have somewhat because Roman's been getting on Jimmy too. I'm sure the soft spot's growing on Jimmy. But was this also the start of the soft spot for Solo as well? They're breaking them down one by one. You see the Empire cracking. And could April 3rd be the morning we wake up and there's no more Bloodline? We will have to wait and see. And that was Raw, guys. Again, like I said, it was good. Stuff that, advanced the stories. Again, yes, is everything, top-notch, A-plus quality? No, but again, the card is set. I'm intrigued for WrestleMania. It'll be a good show. Will it be one of the greatest of all time? I don't think so. But it's still going to be good. So I gave this week's show a B. I felt it was good. Wasn't great. It got the job done, though. So, like I said, I'm hoping I'll probably have to do Dynamite pre-recorded because, again, I still got to watch the part that I fell asleep through. The last thing I remember was when Adam Cole came out. And I think Daniel Garcia was just that's the last thing I remember. I keep hearing that main event was awesome. But I'm hoping to be live for SmackDown on Friday. And when I go live for SmackDown, I want to talk about 2 pieces of news, well, as of now, just 2, regarding Alexa Bliss and 1 regarding Goldberg. But I'll talk about that in my SmackDown review on Friday. And, or Saturday, whichever way. Well, tomorrow's Friday. Whenever I get to review SmackDown this weekend. But I will do SmackDown live. Unless if something else comes up. But, there you go, guys. That's my review of Raw. I gave the show a B. What are your guys' thoughts on this episode of Raw? Make sure to check these thoughts down in the comments section below. Be sure as always to slap a like on the video and subscribe more content on my channel. And follow me on Twitter at the Club of the Man 93. And follow me on TikTok and Instagram at the Club of the Man 1993. And again, get that subscribe button up there because like I keep saying, my goal still is for 2,000 subscribers by the end of this year. That is the goal for the channel of the man. So until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch you guys all later. Have a great rest of your evening. And as always, guys, remember, for I am the man. Well, sorry. In order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself.